T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
What a beautiful view of Falcon 9 as it successfully lifts off from Pad 4E at Vandenberg Space Force Base, carrying our stack of 51 Starlink satellites to orbit. Now, moments ago, we throttled the engines down in preparation for max Q, or maximum aerodynamic pressure on the engines, and that is coming up in just about 10 seconds here.
Supersonic. Max Q.
We did just pass through max Q, and in a minute we will have 3 events happening in back-to-back in rapid succession, and that's main engine cutoff, or MECO, stage separation, and second engine startup 1. Now, first main engine cutoff, or MECO, this is where all 9 M1D engines will shut off to slow the vehicle down in preparation for stage separation, where the
engine chill started.
Where the first and second stage will separate, with the first stage making its way back down to Earth for landing, and the second stage continuing on its journey to the third event, or second engine startup 1. And this is where the MVAC engine lights up and propels the second stage along with the Starlink satellites to orbit. We're about 30 seconds from main engine cutoff, and you can see that beautiful plume of the rocket as it is soaring in the sky.
MECO.
You can see the light from the engine. The light from that first stage engine cutoff.
MVAC ignition confirmed.
For main engine cutoff, you saw the successful stage separation, and the second stage engine has started up from those live views on your right there. That is
separation confirmed.
The Merlin vacuum engine, and here we are waiting for fairing separation. You can see that great view of the 2 fairing halves separating from the Starlink satellites. Today's flight marks the 24th time SpaceX has reflown the Falcon fairing halves since November of 2019. And again, this was our second flight for one of the fairing halves and a third for the other half. And we'll be attempting to recover the halves again today using our recovery vessel, NRC Quest, which previously supported Dragon recovery missions. You can see stage 2 here with the MVAC engine lit up and carrying our Starlink payload to orbit. And with the stage 2 headed towards its targeted drop-off orbit, stage 1 will be executing 2 burns in order to make its way back down to Earth. The first is the entry burn, where 3 of the M1D engines will reignite, and this helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of the Earth's atmosphere. The second burn is the landing burn, and this is a single engine burn that brings the vehicle speed down rapidly in order to land on the drone ship. If you're just catching up with us, we had a successful launch of Falcon 9 from Vandenberg Space Force Base, Slick 4E, and you're looking at a live view of Falcon 9's second stage as it delivers our Starlink payload to orbit.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
Both Stage 1 and Stage 2 are on nominal trajectories right now, with Stage 1 is cruising back to our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, in the Pacific Ocean, sorry. As a reminder, today's mission marks the 10th flight for this particular booster, the second flight for one fairing half, and the third flight for the other half. Reusability is critical to what we do at SpaceX. It allows us to refly the most expensive parts of the rocket, which in turn drives down the cost of space access. Now the Stage 1 entry burn should be coming up here in a little under a minute, and this will be a 20-second burn of that first stage. Some of you may know that Falcon 9 is named after the Millennium Falcon from Star Wars, and the number 9 indicates the number of Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. The Merlins on the first stage are optimized for sea level, and these achieve 190,000 pounds of thrust during ascent and descent, and the MVAC engine, or Merlin vacuum engine that you see on your screen right now, is optimized for 220,500 pounds of thrust in vacuum.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
What a cool view on your left of the Stage 1 entry burn startup there. This is a 20-second burn of 3 of the Merlin 1D engines of the first stage.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
We did
Both
have
vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
we did
Stage
have
1 FTS is saved.
we did have a successful Stage 1 entry burn, and you can see those super cool live views from the Stage 1 there as it is re-entering the Earth's atmosphere. We can't quite make it out from those Stage 1 views, but there is a lot of soot on that first stage of the booster, and that is because the rocket-grade kerosene, or RP1, that is used as a fuel in Falcon 9 is carbon-based, and when it burns, it generates that
Stage 1
soot.
transonic.
And then as the booster approaches its landing site during descent, it does this long re-entry burn, which we just saw, that slows it down prior to re-entering the atmosphere. And when it re-enters with its engines first, the booster actually flies through its own plume, which deposits the
Terminal
soot
guidance.
on the rocket. Now, Stage 1 landing burn should be starting here very
Stage
shortly.
1 landing burn.
Stage 2 FTS is saved.
Stage 1 landing burn has just started. That is our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, in the Pacific Ocean. As you can see from that beautiful
Stage 1
view
landing confirmed.
of Stage 1, having landed on our drone ship for the 10th time, this marks